Yesterday we didn't get a chance to really quite go over the reading as carefully as I would have liked. So I just want to take an opportunity to go over this with you right now. The question was asking, how did the Swedish people become part of New Netherland? And there was kind of a lot of confusion here. So it's a short reading, but there's a lot going on. We're going to take a look at it quickly. It said, soon Stuyvesant expanded New Netherland into what is now New Jersey. So Stuyvesant is the person, okay? He expanded New Netherland, which is the Dutch colony, into what is now New Jersey. So he made it bigger. So into New Jersey. So New Jersey is also a place, not a person, okay? Then, so what happens next? He traveled south into what is now Delaware, taking over the small colony of New Sweden. Now that's where we first see the word Sweden, New Sweden, meaning in America, which is going to be where Swedish people come from. So now we got a clue there. So let's go back and see again what it says about New Sweden. He traveled south into what is now Delaware, so into Delaware. So again, Delaware is a place, taking over the small colony of New Sweden in 1665. So it's being taken over, but it's not being taken over by Delaware because Delaware is a place because he traveled to Delaware. It's not being taken over by New Jersey because New Jersey is a place. It's being taken over by Stuyvesant, who is expanding New Netherland. So basically what happened is New Netherland took over New Sweden, okay? There's some other information here about Sweden, but the Swedish colony, but that's not telling me, it's giving me information about it, but it's not telling me how it became part of New Netherland. So we got to be really careful. Just because the question says Sweden and the reading says Swedish, we got to make sure that we're looking for the right thing, and we kind of have to look back and forth in the reading to make sure we understand what's going on, because it says he traveled south taking it over, and so if we want to know who the he is, we have to go back before that. Soon Stuyvesant expanded New Netherland. So the he is the person in charge of New Netherland. The next question was, how was the King of England able to take over New Netherlands? So New Netherlands took over New Sweden, and then England took it over, okay, because it becomes an English colony. So there's just a couple little things here when you were reading to pay attention to. Remember, your sentences work together. You don't just read them linearly, like in order, and forget about what happened before. There's kind of like a back and forth with the sentences. You read, you see something, you go back, it helps you make sense of what came before, and then you read ahead. If you're not understanding something, sometimes you can read ahead to find information. So let's look here, because there's actually two answers you could have used for that. You could have used one or the other, or you could have used both. So how was he able to take it over? It says there were few people in New Sweden and New Netherland compared to the colonies in New England. Okay, so they don't have a lot of people. Let's keep going. Knowing this, the King of England declared war on Holland. So hold up. He declared war on Holland. The king told his brother, the Duke of York, that he could have the Dutch colonies. So I want to go back a second, because yeah, he told him he could have the Dutch colonies, but why was he able to take it over? Right here it says, knowing this. Well, the sentence starts with knowing this, so the this it's talking about is what came before it. So what came before it is the fact that there were few people there. So knowing that, he told his brother to go take it over. So the lack of people there made it easier for England to take over New Netherland. So let's go down a little further. So the king told his brother, the Duke of York, which again is where New York gets his name, that he could have the Dutch colonies. In 1664, the Duke of York sailed into the harbor of New Amsterdam. Remember, that's the capital of New Netherland. Stuyvesant, there's that guy again, tried to get the citizens to fight the English, but they refused. Stuyvesant had to give up the colony. Wait a minute, he gave up the colony. He gave it up to who? Well, go back. The Duke of York sailed into the harbor, okay? He tried to get the citizens to fight. So here it says he gave it up, but if we go back, the reason he gave it up is because he tried to get them to fight, but they refused. And who were they trying to fight? Go back one more. They were trying to fight the Duke of York, who was the king's brother. So not a lot of people there, and when the time came, he was unable to get them to fight the English, and so the English were able to take the colony over. So you got to see how your sentences work together and how the things that come next help explain the things that you just read. So you have to kind of go back and make a connection back and forth between what you're reading when you are reading, even if it's just a small piece of information.